2 Eastern, CNBC.
Welcome back, everybody. Puerto Rico is struggling to rebuild after Hurricane Maria ripped through the island 7 months ago, and a recent blackout isn't helping matters. Joining us right now with more on the island situation is the governor of Puerto Rico, Ricardo Rosselló. And Governor, thank you for being here today.
Thank you, Becky. Thanks for the opportunity. Excited
it's hard to imagine that part of the United States has been suffering without power for 7 months since this all happened. Just give us an update. Tell us how things are going on the island.
Well, Puerto Rico had a already antiquated energy system, so when the biggest devastating event in the modern history of the United States hit our island, then we could anticipate that it was going to be a major disaster. Right now, we're putting the energy grid back up. We're about at 98% of clients with energy. But really, what we're looking forward is for a transformation of the system. We think we have a great opportunity to leapfrog into Energy 2.0, make sure that it's client-centric, work with the private sector to make sure that generation gets at lower rates and we are more competitive. So
you need private funding to come in and help do that, private investment, and that's something that a lot of investors are pretty wary of, given what's happened to bonds in Puerto Rico to this point.
Yes, but we've been working on several things. Of course, we're engaging with stakeholders. Number one, we're passing a law so that we can facilitate that transfer to the private sector in collaboration. We're looking at a concession for the transmission and distribution, and then private generation. And then the second component, which I think is probably the most critical one, is the regulation framework. So we're talking to a lot of stakeholders, make sure that that regulatory framework is the best practices in the world, and that we can see that prices are at best for all of our stakeholders.
Can I ask you a question as an investor?
Of course.
Because you have a very interesting opportunity. If I'm a sovereign like Norway and I want to build a new gas field and it's going to cost me $10 billion, I go to the LIBOR reset market, the market where I can be guaranteed, let's say, a 7% return with a test against inflation over a long period of time. If you needed $10 billion, I don't know what you need, but if it's got to be a number like that, and you could get the federal government of the United States in good faith to back you, there'd be billions of dollars willing to be invested in Puerto Rico because you're part of America.
Right.
And you need that power. And if I could make 7% in perpetuity, plus it'd be inflation adjusted, I would invest in it. I don't hear that program coming out of you. I hear, trying to fix this, trying to fix that. Why not go for the big jugular and say, we're going to build a deal for the world to invest here in this one aspect of our infrastructure? There'd be a lot of interest in it, but you need the feds backing you up.
Yep. Well, first of all, I agree. I think that this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. We have essentially a blank canvas to do an energy grid that's a model for the world and for a lot of investment to come. Now, the first step is to make the laws applicable to that in Puerto Rico. Secondly, we have an oversight board in Puerto Rico which limits our capability of going to ask for money. So we're limited.
You got to get rid of them.
Well, that's a way to do it, but also it's what I think is if those conditions are ripe and if we have that framework, we can certainly pursue that, and that's my commitment. I mean, I want to let the world know that in Puerto Rico we want to be a platform to leapfrog from the 1950s energy grid to a very modern energy grid.
What do you do about the oversight board? Because you just tweeted recently that you are opposed to the new austerity they're asking for, things like 10% cuts to the pensions.
Well, here's the thing. We're making the biggest cuts in the modern history of the United States in government right-sizing. So when we see that they add more austerity cuts, we feel that it's going to impact negatively the economy. So we're talking about a 22% reduction on right-sizing government, cutting over $800 million in areas of healthcare, education, and so forth, and just trying to use that opportunity to innovate and give better services. So when I say we're against some of the things, is that the oversight has a role, which is establish what's our cap, right? What's our top, but they can't establish the public policy. That's what we do, and that's why I really want to go after innovative solutions, why I really want to open Puerto Rico to the world so that they come and invest.
Governor Rosselló, we appreciate your time. We'd love to have you back.